It's a sunny summer day. Story time, bring your friends along. Story time, it's time to learn, there's more to gain. Story time, bring your friends along. Story time, learning fun with Granny. Story time, happy time, bring your friends along.
Story. Once upon a time. In a village very far, far away, there lived a wise king who had everything he needs. But there was one thing he didn't have: a child. He wanted a son very badly, but he kept on marrying, even up to 3 wives. As the years went by, none of them had a child, and so the high priest of the village performed a miracle, and that miracle made all 3 wives conceive at the same time. The wise one advised the king to send all 3 queens to their mothers' houses to bear the children, and whichever one had a male child will become the head of all the queens. So all 3 wives were sent home. The first wife went on her way, the second went on her way, and the third, unfortunately, was very poor and she didn't have anywhere to go. So she decided to venture into a forbidden forest. While she was going on her way, she found a very little hut, and she noticed that there was smoke coming out of the chimney. As she knocked at the door, an old woman opened the door and then invited her in. She explained to the old woman that she had nowhere to go and that she was pregnant with child, and so the old woman allowed her to stay with her until she bore the child. While she was staying with the old woman, she portrayed to the old woman that she was of good character. She helped the old woman with her daily chores and errands, with food and water as well, and never made fun of the old woman in any way. And so the old woman was pleased with her. She decided to help her. When she gave birth to the baby, she gave birth to a baby boy, a beautiful baby boy. And so the time arrived for her to return to the palace with the baby, and the old woman gave her a magical golden ring which will give her and the baby anything they want. And she advised her never to give her baby to anyone. She also told her to always feed the baby beef porridge soup and sing this song. My baby, I love my baby. If you go away, please come back. Oh my baby, I love you so. And while she keeps singing, her little one would fall asleep. So the day arrived for her to return. The old woman warned her, take this ring with you and never let anyone to touch your son. She appreciated and thanked the old woman and went on her way. On reaching a fork road, she saw the first wife with a baby girl and the second wife with a child that was sickly ill. And so they all came around her and said, oh, congratulations, we notice you have a baby boy. And then the one with the sickly child quickly snatched her baby boy from her and left her with the sickly child and ran away to the palace. And so she wept as she hurried to the palace. On arriving there, she noticed that the king was pleased with the second wife because she lied to everyone that the son was hers. With deep sorrow in her heart, the real mother of the baby boy had no choice but to kneel down and explain that her son was snatched and stolen from her. And so the wise one of the village said, "Let's find out who speaks the truth between these two women." Asked the queens to prepare a meal and set it in front of the children and sing their favorite songs. Whichever child goes to eat whichever food, that will be his mother or her mother. They cooked and the parents began to sing. Everyone stood in shock because they realized that the second wife had lied, had stolen, and the baby boy quickly crawled up to his real mother. And the king was so pleased with her and made her the queen of the village. Unfortunately for the other wife, she was banished away from the palace, never again to return because of her evil deed. And so, my dear children, the moral of the story is do not lie and do not be deceitful. Lies and deceit only brings trouble. It's always good to be truthful.